Hi, everybody. Well, let's talk about that problem that every cruise line seems to have. Even though they have a rule against it, nobody can seem to get a handle on it, except maybe now. Maybe now one cruise line is finally stepping up and putting an end to chair hogs. So, what do I mean by chair hogs? Do I mean there's actual, swine up on the pool deck sitting in a chair? No. Chair hogs are people who will get up at like 6 a.m. in the morning, go and put towels in the best location on the pool deck, especially on sea days, put books and glasses and cups and mugs and reserve those prime locations and then take off, go back to bed, then head off to the buffet for breakfast, have a cup of coffee, get changed, and then go to the pool deck around 10 or 11 o'clock after hours and hours of hogging those chairs that nobody else can use because they blocked it off with their personal stuff and they've reserved it. Now, a lot of people who do this think it's perfectly fine. Hey, I got up to do it, so I should have the right to do it. I got here early. You got there early, but you didn't stay, right? That's like going to the theater when the theater opens up at say you walk into the show is at 8 o'clock at night. You walk into the theater at 1 o'clock and you sit down and you put a mug on that chair, like all the front row chairs. Boom, 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 boom. And then you leave and come back at 5 minutes to 8 and expect all those front row seats to be still saved for you. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't expect it to be done. But on pool decks, people absolutely think they have the exact right to do this. And so there are a lot of rules. I mean, we just had a big story recently of Royal Caribbean passengers complaining that this was going on even in the adult only section, and other places are complaining that even on the pool decks, like when you're going into the retreat and places like that, people are still trying to do it in those locations. Any place that a chair would be considered a prime location, people are starting to do this reserve thing and hogging them all the time. Now, Royal Caribbean, for instance, has a policy saying that, after 30 minutes, your stuff can be removed and we'll be waiting for you at the pool towel location and you can pick your stuff up there. However, it's very spotty. Enforcement is super spotty. I hardly hear any reports of anything being done for chair hogs, especially on a ship with 6,500 passengers like an Icon or an Oasis class, and it's a sea day and the pool decks are just swamped. The crew members alone are just trying to get the drinks and keep the deck clean. The lifeguards are busy serving people, people are serving people. It's just like busy for these crew members. There are very few crew members monitoring how long people are sitting in chairs. And it goes to the question of, well, who is at one point going to step up? At one point, is it just one cruise line? No, it tends to be, Carnival has this issue. We've seen some reports now on Celebrity Cruise Line. We've definitely heard this happening on Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, and Norwegian has had this issue. Well, Norwegian is now stepping up, and it's been seen recently on a couple of the newer ships on Norwegian Cruise Line, where the crew members are going around and they're placing a time-stamped sticker on the chair. So if they're walking by at 7 a.m. in the morning and they see a chair there and there's pool towels on there but nobody's around, they will go and put a sticker on it saying 7 a.m. And if they come back at after 8, after 1 hour, the stuff is removed. That's their way of monitoring and checking to see if people are hot. Now, obviously, they're not going to go put a sticker if somebody's sitting there. Or if, there's a person here and a person here and they look like there might be a couple, etc., they're not going to do it. But if you see 4 chairs with towels on them and the towels are bone dry, and there's a book, and there's a cup, and there's a glass, one on each, you know somebody's just reserving that seat. And after an hour, they're taking them away. And that seems to be a very positive sign for those people who want chair hogs to be stopped. They want the right that, hey, once in a while, even though I go up at 10 a.m., there might be a good place to sit by the pool deck. Or there might be a good place to sit, in the adult-only section, and it's not been reserved since 7 a.m. in the morning. And I don't feel I should have to get up at 7 a.m. to have a hope of finding a half-decent chair to sit on the deck of the cruise ships. Norwegian says this is their solution, and they're being highly touted as, that's finally something that people are, they're paying attention to the chair hogs, and people are really happy about it. Except maybe the chair hogs. The chair hogs are probably the ones going, well, I don't like that idea. and I can imagine why. Because now hogging chairs will no longer be a thing. And I think more cruise lines need to take this approach to rule breaking. Because it not just affects one or two, it affects everybody on the cruise, right? If you have expectations of, well, on a sea day, I'm never going to get a good chair, it brings down your expectation of the cruise, right? I'm just going to have I'm going to have to sit someplace way up on the side, facing nothing. I'm not going to get a good view of the ocean. I'm not going to be around the pool. I'm not going to be able to see the screen, to listen to the music. I'm just not going to be able to do a lot of things. And that's your expectation. You don't want that to be your expectation. You want your expectation to be, hey, look, here's a seat. 2 rows beside the pool, let's have a good time and relax. And it's 10 a.m. I think that's a reasonable expectation. Now, if it's super busy and the chairs are all gone, that's one thing. But if somebody has been hogging 4 or 5 chairs since 7 a.m. in the morning and they're still not there by 10, yeah, I think those people have no reason to complain, and they should absolutely have their stuff taken away and then given a warning besides that, right? Given a written warning that chair hogging is not an acceptable practice. And then maybe, just maybe, we won't hear all these complaints about not being able to get a seat around a pool deck on a sea day because of chair hogs.